Hey guys, I'm in my store and I thought I'd shoot a quick video talking about some NES games that I've just never beat. So let's just jump right in. I'm gonna go with Little Nemo and the Dream Master. For whatever reason, I have never went back and tried to actually beat this game. I've made it to the last stage boss 3 times. This game's quite long. I want to say there's 8 levels. It's been over a year or 2 since I've played it last. This game, made by Capcom, beautiful graphics, based off of the old movie, Little Nemo, the Dream Master. This game's got a great soundtrack, just enough difficulty. It's going to be the first game in this top 10 list because as I go through each game, I feel like the games are going to get a little bit harder personally for me. But number 10, Little Nemo. Number 9, I'm going with Rygar. This game's awesome. We actually used to have the full stand-up arcade of Rygar here in the store. The NES game is definitely different. I like the NES version better than the arcade. I love that after you beat the side-scrolling levels off of the first screen, you go into a top-down angle. And you definitely have to try to figure out where you're supposed to be going. There is a lot of backtracking, which is always awesome because then you get used to your surroundings. I believe it is a game that you have to beat in one sitting. There is no save feature. So number 9, Rygar. Next up's a game that I actually played on our old YouTube show, Nick Timdo Plays, with Tim, the other owner of the store, and that's Monster Party. The reason why Monster Party is number 8, I actually really like this game. I love the cover art on this, which has like Medusa, creature from the Black Lagoon, which almost looks like a Bigfoot with slick back hair, and of course your traditional vampire Dracula looking character. In the levels that I played, I saw none of these characters. I was fighting as bosses giant onion rings and shrimp tempura. Now I did see Medusa. She throws like these snaky slug things at you. Hardest thing about this game and why I felt like we didn't get very far in it when we were doing it for the show was the lag on our television. If you plan on playing Monster Party, you have to have 100% like a CRT television, old school console. If you're gonna play it on a flat screen, you better make sure that you pay for all the equipment to make sure you get that frame rate up so there's no lag whatsoever. Because Monster Party is actually a pretty fun game. But you don't get to be Bert the Griffin long enough, in my opinion. Next up, going Lethal Weapon, another game that I never played until I opened up the shop. Sat down and played this for like 2 days straight. It's just kind of like a Ninja Turtles, like side-scroll beat 'em up. You do get guns and stuff. The hardest thing about Lethal Weapon for me are these bombs. That enemies will run around, they drop these bombs, and I think you have to deactivate them. I just walk into them and blow up, but if you don't, then you blow up. There's got to be a way to deactivate it. I'm not the type of person to jump on YouTube and watch any type of walkthrough. This was made so we were supposed to figure it out. I just wish I had the manual. All right, number 6. This is the very first video game I ever did a review for, but that's Robocop. I've made it to the last stage boss in Robocop. I did a full review on this game. Toughest thing about Robocop, it's slow and stairs are up. It is tough to just get on stairs. Or if you're trying to run away and you're like, oh God, there's enemies coming after me. I gotta get up those stairs. I just walked right past the stairs. That's Robocop. Now I've made it to the last stage boss. I had the strongest gun in the game. I moved all the way to the far left side of the screen. I was just shooting the big boss guy. I forget what his name is from the movie, the big robot guy. It didn't matter. He's just closing the gap, and then just gets right on you, blows you away, dies. I don't know what to do. All right, halfway through it, and at number 5, this is a game that a lot of people, I go like, oh man, you should pick up Adventures of Dino Riki. When a customer comes in and they don't know what NES game to get. This is a really fun vertical shooter, but it is effing tough. I bought this game really late in my NES early years. A game called Joe and Mac had also came out, and I love Joe and Mac so much. Again, dinosaurs, cavemen. So I picked this up, had no idea it was going to be a vertical shooter at all. But I like shooters. I think shooters are great. It's just a good time to just sit there and blast some shit. Next up, number 4. This is a game I just recently played, and I couldn't even beat the first stage midway boss. And that's G.I. Joe The Atlantis Factor. And that boss you're having a hard time with in the very beginning of the game, that's just a mid-level boss. What the shit? So next up, number 3 on our list is a video game that everybody knows is difficult, and that's Double Dragon 3. This game, there's no continues, like, at all. I don't think there's any continues really, like, in Double Dragon, but the enemies in this, the AI is so intelligent because they really won't even attack you unless they're getting on both sides. They want to juggle you back and forth. I'm actually going to play some Double Dragon 3 today because I've been jonesing just for some beat 'em ups, waiting for River City Girls, my physical copy from Let Me Run Games, to come in the mail anytime now. Okay, these final 2 games. I don't want to beat them, but I do. They're so shit-tastic that they shouldn't exist. Number 2, Beetlejuice. Talk about Beetlejuice. It's LJN. You run around. You stomp on bugs. There's these death block things that can kill you. But it doesn't matter because once you get to the first stage boss, like the 50 times I've made it to the first stage boss, you've made it to the end of the game. Because I can't beat the first stage boss. And that sucks. Because I freaking love Beetlejuice. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this movie. And I've done a good job as a dad because I've got my daughter obsessed with Beetlejuice. Which was all part of the plan, so then she wants to watch it, and I get to watch it. Number 2, Beetlejuice. Number 1, I think is the worst video game in the entire store. But that's Bill and Ted's Excellent Video Game Adventures. This game sucks. I've never beat the first level. There's a pattern going on here. There are some charming things about this game, like when you're Ted and you run around in the level and you find like the other Ted, because there's like your past self in whatever time period you're in. For me, it's always like medieval times, the first level. It's just cool to see like the little text box because like Keanu's like that. He looks so effing young. And that's the only enjoyment that I get out of this game at all. It's just that little face of Keanu down in the text box at the bottom when you find him. You have to jump around on like bushes and rocks and fences to find items to hopefully get you out of that level. I don't know how many levels there are in this game. I don't think I'll ever beat the first stage. Bill and Ted. So thank you for going over my stack of 10 games on the NES that I've never beat, but I want to hopefully someday, or hopefully just beat those first levels. Videos comment every week, you guys. I'm working on a big project right now. Love you guys. Game on. Peace! I gotta go beat Double Dragon 3.